The shiny silver ships appeared in the sky one Tuesday morning. They hung over major cities across Earth like strange metal clouds. News stations showed the same images over and over. People looked up with wonder and fear. Ambassador John Miller fixed his tie for the 5th time. Today humans would meet aliens for the first time. The United Nations had picked him to speak for all of Earth. No pressure. "The recorders are ready," said Lieutenant Kate Simmons, adjusting her uniform. "I still don't understand why they want to meet at our embassy instead of theirs." John nodded. "They said it's a sign of respect, but something feels off." The delegation from the Galactic Concord arrived exactly at noon. 7 different alien species walked through the door. The tallest ones, with blue skin and 4 arms, seemed to be in charge. Their leader introduced himself as Zexthar of the Valtharians. "We welcome Earth to the galactic community," Zexthar said with a smile that showed too many teeth. "We are pleased to offer you limited membership in our Concord." John stepped forward. "We thank you for this honor. Earth is eager to learn and contribute." The aliens exchanged glances. A smaller green alien whispered something, and they all made a strange clicking sound that might have been laughter. "Yes, contribute," Zexthar said. "In time, perhaps. For now, we classify Earth as a protected species planet. This is a great honor." Kate's eyes narrowed. "What exactly does protected species mean?" A thin alien with golden skin answered. "It means we will guide your development. Your species is still quite young." The reception continued with drinks and food. The aliens seemed surprised humans could make complex meals. One of them asked if humans had discovered fire recently. Later, John showed Zexthar to a private meeting room where Earth officials waited to discuss trade agreements. As they walked, Zexthar spoke into a small device on his wrist, not realizing John could hear him. "The humans are more developed than we expected, but still primitive. Their emotional responses are unpredictable. I recommend limited technology sharing. Nothing they could weaponize." John kept his face blank, but his heart raced. This didn't sound like equals meeting equals. In another room, Kate offered to show a female alien named Lorva the building. As they walked, Kate casually placed tiny recording devices in each room they passed. "Your buildings are surprisingly stable," Lorva said, touching a wall. "Though your materials are quite basic." Kate smiled politely. "We do our best with what we have." "Oh, I didn't mean to offend. For creatures with such short lives, you've done remarkably well." Behind closed doors, the aliens spoke more freely. Kate's devices captured everything. "These humans are amusingly tenacious," said Zexthar to his team. "They've accomplished much despite their limitations." "Their aggression levels concern me," said another alien. "Their history is full of violence." "That's why they need management," Zexthar replied. "We'll control their development, limit their space travel, and keep them contained to this solar system. And if they resist, they won't. We'll present it as protection." Humans seem to respond well to being told they're special, even when they're being restricted. Later that night, John and Kate met in a secure room. They listened to the recordings together, faces growing darker with each word. "They see us as pets," John said, voice tight with anger. "Clever animals to be managed." Kate nodded, jaw clenched. "They're offering us a cage, not membership. What do we do now?" Kate looked at the recordings in her hand. "First, the world needs to know what they really think of us. No species talks about humans like that and gets away with it." Outside, the alien ships glowed in the night sky, unaware that their true thoughts about humanity had been captured, unaware that humans didn't take kindly to being called pets, unaware that today was the beginning of something they would never forget. Kate's fingers moved quickly over her keyboard. The recordings needed to be shared now, before the aliens realized what she had done. She uploaded the files to every major news outlet and social media platform she could think of. Then she sent copies to government officials across the world. "It's done," she said to John. No going back now. John stared at the screen, watching as the first comments began pouring in. They're going to be angry. Good, Kate said. So are we. By morning, the recordings had spread across the globe. People everywhere listened to the aliens talking about humans like they were clever pets. Crowds gathered in cities, looking up at the ships with anger instead of wonder. President Olivia Garrett called an emergency meeting. Advisors and military leaders filled the room, their faces grim. The people are demanding answers, she said. And frankly, so am I. A video call came in from the alien embassy. Zexthar's blue face filled the screen, his forearms crossed in what looked like irritation. Madam President, unauthorized surveillance equipment was placed in our meeting rooms. This is a serious breach of diplomatic trust. President Garrett didn't blink. And classifying humans as animals to be managed isn't. Zexthar's eyes narrowed. You misunderstand our intentions. Protected status is for your benefit. We don't want or need your protection, she replied. Earth expects to be treated as equals or not at all. This emotional response proves our point, Zexthar said. The human female responsible must be handed over for neural recalibration. Lieutenant Kate Simmons has violated interspecies protocol. The room went silent. Then President Garrett smiled, but her eyes were cold. No. Zexthar seemed shocked. No. No. Lieutenant Simmons stays right here. If you want to talk further, you'll speak to us as equals. The call ended abruptly. Minutes later, the alien ships glowed brighter. Suddenly, all electronic devices in major cities stopped working. Cell phones died. Cars stalled. Military bases went dark. The aliens broadcast a message on their own frequency. A temporary pacification field has been deployed as a necessary precaution. When humans are ready to behave rationally, communications will be restored. In Geneva, civilian programmer Alex Winters was working late when the blackout hit. His old laptop, not connected to any network, still worked. Alex noticed something strange. The patterns of the power failure followed specific frequencies. He began typing, recording the pattern changes. It's just another type of code, he muttered to himself, and all codes can be broken. The blackout lasted 3 days. When power returned, the alien ships had moved higher, now orbiting Earth like new moons. Zexthar addressed the United Nations, his message playing on all channels. Your species has demonstrated exactly why you need guidance. Your emotional outburst has been noted. The Galactic Concord still offers protected status, but with additional oversight. In basements and backrooms across the world, scientists and engineers studied the aliens' technology. Governments shared information that would have been secret just days ago. Alex Winters posted his frequency findings online, and thousands of programmers joined him in developing a countermeasure. Kate and John were brought to a secure facility beneath the Rocky Mountains. Other world leaders were there too, meeting in person to avoid alien surveillance. We need to coordinate, John told the group. They expect us to fight each other. They don't understand human unity. They think we'll just accept being pets, Kate added. They have no idea what happens when humanity is backed into a corner. Outside the mountain, people gathered in peaceful protests across the globe. Signs in hundreds of languages carried the same message. We are not pets. The aliens watched with confusion. According to their studies, humans should be fighting each other for resources and power by now. Instead, they were uniting. Zexthar decided a stronger message was needed. Humans required a demonstration of what happened to species that didn't accept their proper place in the galaxy. People filled the streets of Geneva. Thousands stood outside the alien embassy, holding signs and chanting. They wanted the aliens to know humans would not be treated like animals. The protest was peaceful. Parents brought children. Old people sat in chairs. Students handed out water bottles. Inside the embassy, Zexthar watched the growing crowd with alarm. They should be fighting each other by now, he said to his advisors. Our study showed humans always divide when pressured. A smaller alien checked his datapad. Perhaps our understanding of human behavior is incomplete. Zexthar made a dismissive gesture with his upper arms. Nonsense. They are primitive and predictable. Outside, 12-year-old Billy Parker flew his new drone. His parents had bought it for his birthday last week. Billy sent the drone higher, wanting to see how the crowd looked from above. The wind caught the small machine, pushing it over the embassy wall. "My drone," Billy cried, trying to control it. Inside the embassy, alarms blared. Security systems detected an unknown flying object entering their space. Without checking what it was, the aliens activated their defense protocols. A pulse of energy shot from the embassy roof. It wasn't meant to kill, only to stun and disable threats. But alien non-lethal weapons weren't designed for human bodies. The pulse hit the crowd. People screamed and fell. Some had seizures. Children were affected worst of all. Billy collapsed next to his parents, his small body shaking. Dr. Ellen Rivera was drinking coffee at a cafe near the protest when people started falling. She dropped her cup and ran to help. As a trauma surgeon, she knew what to do in emergencies. Ellen reached Billy first. She checked his pulse and breathing, then moved to help others. Ambulances arrived, taking the injured to hospitals. Ellen went with them, working to stabilize the victims. At the hospital, Ellen noticed something strange. Brain scans showed unusual patterns in all the patients. She compared the results. "These injuries aren't temporary," she told her colleague. "The alien weapon caused permanent neurological damage." Pictures of injured children spread online faster than any virus. News channels showed small bodies in hospital beds, parents crying, doctors looking helpless. The world watched, and something changed in how people felt about the aliens. Fear turned to anger. Anger turned to determination. In his apartment, Alex Winters finished his countermeasure program. He had mapped the frequency patterns of the alien technology and created a way to block them. He posted his work online with one message: "Share this everywhere." People around the world downloaded Alex's program. They built jammers from common electronics and set them up in their neighborhoods. Scientists studied the code and improved it. Engineers built better versions. In research labs across the globe, captured alien technology was being taken apart and studied. Universities shared findings that would normally be kept secret. Private companies opened their research to the public. Human knowledge grew rapidly. The Galactic Concord noticed the change. Their sensors detected the jammers. Their communications were being blocked in some areas. They intercepted messages between human governments showing increased cooperation. "This is unexpected," said Lorva during an emergency meeting. "They are adapting to our technology much faster than projected." Zexthar paced the room, all four arms moving in agitation. "It changes nothing. They are still far behind us. They have no space fleet, no planetary defenses. But their rate of adaptation is meaningless," Zexthar interrupted. "They need to understand their place. We have been too gentle." The aliens decided a stronger message was needed. They would target something humans valued, but that wouldn't cause too many deaths. Their sensors showed a small base on Earth's moon. It had only a few hundred humans. Perfect for a demonstration. "Once they see we can reach their moon outpost, they will understand resistance is pointless," Zexthar said. The aliens prepared their weapons, not realizing they were about to make the biggest mistake in Concord history. They didn't understand that humans had a line that should never be crossed, and they were about to cross it. People filled the streets of Geneva. Thousands stood outside the alien embassy, holding signs and chanting. They wanted the aliens to know humans would not be treated like animals. The protest was peaceful. Parents brought children. Old people sat in chairs. Students handed out water bottles. Inside the embassy, Zexthar watched the growing crowd with alarm. "They should be fighting each other by now," he said to his advisors. "Our study showed humans always divide when pressured." A smaller alien checked his datapad. "Perhaps our understanding of human behavior is incomplete." Zexthar made a dismissive gesture with his upper arms. Nonsense. They are primitive and predictable. Outside, 12-year-old Billy Parker flew his new drone. His parents had bought it for his birthday last week. Billy sent the drone higher, wanting to see how the crowd looked from above. The wind caught the small machine, pushing it over the embassy wall. "My drone," Billy cried, trying to control it. Inside the embassy, alarms blared. Security systems detected an unknown flying object entering their space. Without checking what it was, the aliens activated their defense protocols. A pulse of energy shot from the embassy roof. It wasn't meant to kill, only to stun and disable threats. But alien non-lethal weapons weren't designed for human bodies. The pulse hit the crowd. People screamed and fell. Some had seizures. Children were affected worst of all. Billy collapsed next to his parents, his small body shaking. Dr. Ellen Rivera was drinking coffee at a cafe near the protest when people started falling. She dropped her cup and ran to help. As a trauma surgeon, she knew what to do in emergencies. Ellen reached Billy first. She checked his pulse and breathing, then moved to help others. Ambulances arrived, taking the injured to hospitals. Ellen went with them, working to stabilize the victims. At the hospital, Ellen noticed something strange. Brain scans showed unusual patterns in all the patients. She compared the results. "These injuries aren't temporary," she told her colleague. "The alien weapon caused permanent neurological damage." Pictures of injured children spread online faster than any virus. News channels showed small bodies in hospital beds, parents crying, doctors looking helpless. The world watched, and something changed in how people felt about the aliens. Fear turned to anger. Anger turned to determination. In his apartment, Alex Winters finished his countermeasure program. He had mapped the frequency patterns of the alien technology and created a way to block them. He posted his work online with one message: "Share this everywhere." People around the world downloaded Alex's program. They built jammers from common electronics and set them up in their neighborhoods. Scientists studied the code and improved it. Engineers built better versions. In research labs across the globe, captured alien technology was being taken apart and studied. Universities shared findings that would normally be kept secret. Private companies opened their research to the public. Human knowledge grew rapidly. The Galactic Concord noticed the change. Their sensors detected the jammers. Their communications were being blocked in some areas. They intercepted messages between human governments showing increased cooperation. "This is unexpected," said Lorva during an emergency meeting. "They are adapting to our technology." Operation Broken Chain began at dawn. All across Earth, people watched the sky and prayed. This was the day humanity would fight back. Colonel Maria Rodriguez checked her weapon one last time. The gun looked normal, but inside was technology based on alien designs. Her team of 50 soldiers waited for her signal. They were just one small part of a global attack happening at the same time. "Remember Luna Base," Maria said to her team. They nodded grimly. Miles away, Captain Daniel Brown prepared his fighter jet. Engineers had worked day and night to modify it with the new technology. It could now fly higher and faster than ever before. "All pilots ready," he said into his radio. 20 jets like his waited on runways around the world. In his apartment, Alex Winters activated his improved countermeasure program. Millions of people across the globe did the same. The combined effect created a blanket of interference that the aliens couldn't break through. Zexthar noticed the communication problems first. His screen showed static. Sensors gave false readings. "What is happening?" he demanded. "The humans are jamming our systems," said a technician. "We can't get clear readings." "Impossible. Their technology is too primitive." But the evidence was clear on the screens. Somehow, humans had figured out how to disrupt Concord systems. Then the attacks began. Human forces struck alien ground bases simultaneously across the globe. Maria's team hit a communications tower in Mexico. Similar teams attacked alien outposts in China, Russia, Brazil, and Egypt. The aliens were caught by surprise. Their weapons were stronger, but they couldn't target what they couldn't see clearly. Human soldiers used Alex's jamming technology to stay hidden until the last moment. In the sky, Daniel led the air attack. His squadron flew low, avoiding alien sensors, then shot up suddenly to attack the ships from below. They used Dr. Bennett's discovery about the shield cycles, timing their shots to hit during the millisecond gaps. "Fire on my mark," Daniel told his pilots. 3, 2, 1 now. Their weapons hit the alien ship's underside where the shields were weakest. The damage wasn't severe, but it proved humans could hurt them. The aliens had never expected that. In orbit, larger human weapons launched from hidden bases. They weren't as advanced as alien technology, but there were hundreds of them. Some got through the shields, causing damage to the Concorde fleet. Zexthar watched in shock as his screen showed multiple hits on Concorde vessels. "This is impossible," he said again. "They shouldn't be able to penetrate our shields." "They're timing their attacks to our shield cycles," reported an engineer. "And they're attacking from multiple directions at once. It's a coordinated global assault." Zexthar had never seen anything like it. According to all their studies, humans were supposed to be divided. Different countries should be fighting each other for Concorde favor. Instead, they were working together with incredible precision. "Fall back," he ordered. "Regroup and prepare a proper response." The Concorde forces retreated to higher orbit. They needed time to assess what had happened and plan their next move. Surely this human unity was temporary. Their studies showed humans always returned to fighting among themselves. On Earth, people celebrated the small victory. For the first time, they had fought back, and the aliens had retreated. It wasn't the end, but it was a beginning. President Garrett addressed the world again. "Today we showed the Concorde that humanity will not be classified as pets or primitives. We will not be experimented on or controlled. We may not have their technology, but we have something stronger: unity and determination." In his ship, Zexthar consulted with the Concorde High Command. They agreed that stronger measures were needed. The humans' resistance was unexpected, but not insurmountable. The Concorde had dealt with difficult species before. "Deploy the compliance agent," ordered the High Command. "It's time to end this primitive uprising." Zexthar smiled for the first time in days. The bioweapon would solve everything. Soon humans would be docile and compliant, unable to resist Concorde control. They had used it on other rebellious species with perfect results. What they didn't know was how human biology was different from any species they had encountered before. The weapon that was meant to make humans docile was about to have a very different effect. The Concorde ships released a fine mist into Earth's atmosphere. It spread quickly, carried by wind currents across continents. The aliens watched with satisfaction as their plan unfolded. "The compliance agent will take effect within hours," said the chief scientist. "Humans will become calm and easily controlled." Zexthar nodded. "Then we can proceed with proper management of this species." The first reports of the mist came from weather stations. People were told to stay inside, but it was too late. The invisible particles had already been breathed in by millions. Dr. Ellen Rivera noticed the changes in her hospital first. Patients who had been calm suddenly became restless. Their heart rates increased. Body temperatures rose slightly. She took blood samples and rushed them to the lab. What she found shocked her. The alien substance wasn't making people docile at all. Instead, it was affecting human brain chemistry in an unexpected way. It enhanced strength and aggression while reducing fear. "This isn't a calming agent," she told her colleagues. "It's having the opposite effect. It's making people stronger and more focused." Across the world, similar reports came in. Humans weren't becoming easier to control. They were becoming more determined, more capable, and completely unafraid. Ellen worked with medical teams globally to understand the change. Through video calls, they shared data and ideas. She realized that human biology was processing the alien compound differently than expected. Our bodies are converting it into something like adrenaline, but more powerful and longer lasting. She explained to military leaders. It's temporary, but while it lasts, people are showing increased strength and reduced fear response. Colonel Maria Rodriguez noticed it in her soldiers. They could run faster, lift more, and keep fighting despite injuries. They also showed a cold, focused anger unlike anything she'd seen before. "We need to use this while it lasts," she told command. "We have a window of opportunity." The Global Defense Council agreed. While the effect lasted, they would launch an all-out offensive against Concord forces. Human military units attacked alien ground positions with newfound strength and fearlessness. Captain Daniel Brown led another air assault. His pilots flew with perfect precision, their reactions faster than normal. They scored hit after hit on alien vessels, forcing them higher into orbit. In his apartment, Alex continued improving his jamming program. He hadn't slept in days but didn't feel tired. His mind was clearer than ever, making connections he had missed before. "I can target their communication systems directly now," he announced to the defense network. "They won't be able to coordinate their forces." On their ships, the Concord leaders watched in horror as their plan backfired. Instead of a docile population ready for control, they faced an enhanced enemy fighting with unprecedented coordination and fearlessness. "How is this possible?" Zexthar demanded. "The compliance agent has been tested on 100 species." A Xerilli scientist, one of the more analytical species in the Concord, studied the data. "Human biology is processing the compound differently. Their unique brain chemistry is converting it into a stimulant rather than a sedative." For the first time, real fear showed on Zexthar's face. "Order all ground forces to retreat immediately. We must regroup." But many Concord ground troops couldn't escape. Enhanced human forces overran their positions. Alien technology was captured intact, providing even more knowledge to human scientists. The Xerilli scientist approached Zexthar privately. "We should withdraw completely and establish a containment zone around the solar system. These humans are too unpredictable." "Retreat? That's unthinkable," Zexthar replied. "No primitive species has ever defeated the Concord. No primitive species has ever united globally before." The Xerilli pointed out. "We may have fundamentally misjudged them." But Voltharian pride wouldn't allow retreat. The Concord had ruled the galaxy for centuries. They would not be driven away by primitives. As Concord forces pulled back to regroup, humans pressed their advantage. Dr. Rivera worked to stabilize the effects of the alien substance, giving their forces more time. Military units pushed forward on all fronts. For the first time in galactic history, a protected species was driving back their supposed protectors. And in orbit above Earth, a small team led by Captain Lisa Mitchell prepared for the most daring mission yet, capturing a Concord command ship. Captain Lisa Mitchell strapped herself into the pilot's seat of the modified space shuttle. Her team of 6 sat behind her, checking their equipment one last time. Their mission was the most dangerous yet: board a Concord command ship and take control of it. "Everyone ready?" she asked. They nodded. All were volunteers, the best from different countries. They knew they might not come back. "For Earth," Lisa said as she started the engines. The shuttle launched under cover of a larger attack. While Daniel's fighter jets distracted the alien ships, Lisa's shuttle approached from another direction. They used Alex's jamming technology to hide from alien sensors until the last moment. The shuttle docked with the command ship by matching the cycle of its shields, slipping through during the millisecond gap. Once inside, Lisa's team moved quickly. They used weapons designed by Dr. Bennett that could stun the aliens without killing them. "Remember, we need the ship intact," Lisa told her team. "And we need access to their communication system." Fighting was intense. The aliens had superior weapons, but the humans had surprise and the lingering effects of the altered bioweapon. Room by room, they took control of the ship. Lisa reached the bridge with 2 team members. The alien captain, A Valtharian like Zexthar stared at them in shock. "Impossible," he said. "You'll find humans do a lot of impossible things," Lissa replied as she stunned him. With the bridge secured, they brought in the technical expert on their team. Joey Chen had been studying alien technology since first contact. He accessed the ship's systems, finding his way through the alien computer. "I'm in," he said after an hour of work. "We have access to their entire communication network." This was what they had come for. The Concord kept their member species in line partly through control of information. Many planets didn't know the true nature of the protection they received. Lissa contacted Earth. "Mission accomplished. We're broadcasting now." Across the galaxy, on hundreds of worlds under Concord control, people saw images they were never meant to see. They watched the attack on Luna Base. They saw children injured in Geneva. They heard Zexthar talking about managing humans like animals. Then they saw how humans fought back. United, determined, refusing to be controlled. Many species had lived under Concord protection for generations, believing they were being helped. Now they saw the truth. On the Concord Governing Council, chaos erupted. Member species argued loudly with each other. Some demanded immediate action against Earth. Others wanted to negotiate. 3 species announced they were reconsidering their membership. "This is unprecedented," said the Exarili representative. "No protected species has ever accessed our network." Zexthar pounded the table with all 4 hands. "It changes nothing. We will crush this rebellion and restore order." But other council members weren't so sure. The humans had shown capabilities far beyond what should have been possible. And now other protected planets were asking questions, demanding answers. Lissa and her team continued broadcasting from the captured ship. They sent messages of friendship to other worlds, offering to share what they had learned about resisting Concord control. On many planets, people began their own protests. Some had been under Concord rule for centuries, believing they were being protected when they were really being controlled. "We're getting responses," Joey told Lissa, his eyes wide with excitement. "Dozens of worlds want to talk to us. Some are offering help." Lissa smiled. They had hoped to damage Concord communications. Instead, they had started a galactic conversation. Back on Earth, President Garrett received the news with hope. "Keep broadcasting," she told Lissa. "And come home safely when you can." But returning wouldn't be easy. The remaining Concord ships had surrounded the captured vessel. They were preparing to destroy it, even though it meant killing their own people on board. "We can't let them take our ship," Zexthar told his commanders. "The information they have is too dangerous." The Concord fleet moved into position. On the captured ship, Lissa and her team prepared for a last stand. They had accomplished their mission, but escaping seemed impossible. Then something unexpected happened. 3 ships from different Concord species broke formation. Instead of attacking, they moved to protect the human-controlled vessel. "Captain Mitchell," came a new voice over the communication system. "This is Captain Trell of Navuri. We offer assistance and safe passage. The Concord has ruled through deception for too long." For the first time in its long history, the Galactic Concord was breaking apart. 3 months after first contact, the stars looked different to people on Earth. The alien ships that had once seemed threatening were gone. In their place, vessels from many worlds now visited in peace. The Galactic Concord had fractured. The Valtharians and 2 loyal species continued fighting, but they grew weaker each day. 4 former member species had signed peace agreements with Earth. Together, they formed something new, the Galactic Alliance. John Miller walked into the Grand Hall where representatives from all Alliance worlds waited. As Earth's ambassador, he would address the first official meeting. Kate Simmons stood nearby, now his chief advisor. "Ready?" she asked. John nodded. 3 months ago, they called us pets. Today we're founding members of a new galactic government. The hall fell silent as John took the central platform. Beings from a dozen worlds watched, their appearances as varied as their cultures. On behalf of Earth, I welcome you all, John began. We came to the stars seeking friendship, not subjugation. We offered cooperation and received contempt. But today marks a new beginning. The representatives applauded, each in their own way. Some clapped hands, others tapped tentacles or flashed colors. The alliance will be different from the Concord, John continued. No species will rule over others. No planet will be called protected when they are really controlled. We will share knowledge, trade fairly, and respect each other's independence. In the 3 months since Operation Broken Chain, Earth had changed dramatically. Alien technology, properly shared by new allies, helped solve problems that had troubled humanity for generations. Clean energy powered all cities. Medical advances from the Navori healed injuries once thought permanent. Dr. Ellen Rivera led the team that helped the children injured in Geneva. Using Navori medical techniques, they repaired the neurological damage caused by the alien weapons. Billy Parker and the other children were healthy again, running and playing as before. Alex Winters now headed Earth's new technology exchange program. His ability to understand and adapt alien systems had made him famous across the Alliance. He worked with scientists from 6 different worlds, sharing ideas and building new devices. Colonel Maria Rodriguez commanded the Joint Earth Alliance Defense Force. Captain Daniel Brown trained pilots from all member worlds, teaching them the tactics that had helped defeat the Concord. Captain Lisa Mitchell had become a hero on dozens of planets, her mission to capture the Concord ship now legendary. In a secure facility far from the celebration, Zexthar sat in a plane room. As a prisoner of war, he was treated well but kept isolated. Kate entered and sat across from him. "The Alliance inaugural ceremony is today," she told him. "Thought you might want to know." Zexthar's 4 arms remained still, his posture defeated. "How?" he asked, the question that had haunted him for months. "How did you win against our superior technology and numbers?" Kate looked at him thoughtfully. "You threatened our children. There's not a force in this universe that would have stopped us after that." She left him to think about that simple truth. Back at the ceremony, John concluded his speech. "Let today be remembered as the beginning of true cooperation between our worlds. We have much to learn from each other and much to accomplish together." The applause was thunderous. Representatives from every world signed the Alliance Charter, making it official. That night, celebrations lit up cities across Earth. People who had once looked at the stars in fear now saw them with hope and excitement. The same scenes played out on other Alliance worlds, beings of all kinds celebrating their new freedom. A new saying spread among alien species in the following years: "Calm as Earth before the storm." It was both a warning and a mark of respect. It meant that appearances could be deceiving, especially when it came to humans. The day humanity snapped had changed the galaxy forever. No species would ever forget that the seemingly gentle divided beings from the blue planet had united when threatened, fought back against impossible odds, and in the process, reshaped the order of the stars. When asked if they regretted standing up to the Concord despite the cost, most humans gave the same answer. Some things are worth fighting for: freedom, dignity, and the right to determine your own future. And that was something every species in the new alliance could understand.